I always appreciate questions, both in the office and on this channel. And one of the questions that's come up from a lot of patients in both places is the idea of what is the difference, or is there a better option when it comes to press-fit knees or cemented total knee replacements? So in today's video, I'm going to try to answer all of your questions. And welcome back. I'm Adam Rosen, and thanks for tuning into the channel. If you have not already subscribed, please subscribe. So when videos like this come out, you're notified, and please click the thumbs up like button so people like you find information like this. And also, if you're interested in basically everything that I've told every patient over the past 20 years about knee arthritis and knee replacement, you can check out my knee book, which you can find on Amazon. Now, in today's video, I'm going to talk about total knee replacements, and specifically the difference between press-fit implants, what are sometimes also called cementless total knee replacements, and cemented knee replacements. Now, knee replacement is a great and successful operation. The first modern knee replacements were implanted in New York at the Hospital for Special Surgery back in 1974. And a lot of changes have occurred over the past 40, 50 years. One of the giants in our world is named Dr. Merrill Ritter, was an early adopter of some press-fit total knees, and he has some great data. But when early press-fit knees came out, there were failure rates of failure of ingrowth. More recently, every major manufacturer on the market now has a newer, better, quotes, modern press-fit total knee replacement that is an option for many patients and is an option for many surgeons when they're performing knee replacement. So typically when we do a knee replacement, again briefly because I have other videos on this, what we do is we resurface the ends of the bone. So we resect a few millimeters of cartilage on the top of the shin bone, end of the thigh bone, and back of the kneecap. And more commonly over the years, what happens then is we make a glue on the back table, or bone cement. It's called polymethyl methacrylate. And then we apply it to the back of the implant and the bony surfaces, and then we compress it and hold it in position while the cement cures, which typically takes 8 to 10 minutes. Now, the other option is what's called press-fit total knees or cementless total knees. And the exact same thing occurs where you're making these bony cuts, and then what you're doing is you're impacting these implants onto the ends of the bone. And on the back of the implants, it's a roughened, textured, microscopic, porous structure. And the idea there is that a biologic interface occurs, that your bone will actually grow into and adhere to the back of these implants to make them stable. And there are pros and cons in both groups for both types of implants. And that's kind of my goal today, is kind of let you know what those things are. So when we talk about cemented total knees, still for the most part, I would consider still the gold standard. And again, medicine changes quickly, so depending on when you're watching this, that may change. But cemented implants for right now are still the gold standard. The benefits are it can be used in all bone types. So even if you have osteoporosis, we can use bone cement and cement a total knee replacement. We also have very good data on 20-year studies. So we know at around 20 years that 90% of most total knees that are cemented are still doing well and functioning well. The issues that kind of come up with cemented are time. So a lot of surgeons that have gone to press fit say, you know, I don't like making the bone cement, putting the bone cement on the bone, and then now having to stand there and basically wait for 8 or 10 minutes. It is time. It is time for the patient under anesthesia. And if you have a very busy practice and you do multiple joints a day, that starts to add up to a lot of time at the end of the day. Now the question is, and this has been the big push for press-fit knees, is cemented knee replacements good in younger, higher impact athletic individuals? Cement works very good under compression. So when the thigh bone, shin bone are compressing, it works very good. It doesn't work very good in shear and if it's toggling back and forth. And that is where, whether or not you're doing a press-fit or cemented knee, it is important to have a good surgeon that does appropriate bone cuts and balances the knee well so that the forces are distributed equally. And that's even more important with press-fit knees, which I'll talk about in a bit. The other concern with cement is the idea that some people talk about what's called third body wear. So if we put cement in and we compress, what typically happens is cement extrudes around the edge of the implant, and we have these little devices where we curette out the excess cement while the cement's hardening. And there is a concern that if you don't get all of that cement, those little pieces of cement can be third body particles, which could lead to or accelerate the wear on the plastic insert. So that's basically cemented total knee replacements in a nutshell. Now, Pressfit total knees or cementless total knees, there obviously is no bone cement. And some people will say, well, that saves time. And some people will also say that that saves money because the cement is hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Now, that's a little bit of a wash because when you do a Pressfit total knee replacement, the implant is more expensive than a cemented knee. So yes, you're saving money on the cement. You're also saving a little bit of time in the OR because every minute costs money, but the implant is more expensive. So for the most part, it's pretty much a wash. The surgery is shorter though. So people that are doing Pressfit knees will say for concerns of anesthesia that the patient is under anesthesia for about 8 or 10 minutes less. The other big benefit, both is the physiological bond. It's a biological bond where cement, you put it in today and over time it can wear out. If you develop a biological bond, that bond should be sustained for, we hope, forever. The idea of longevity, though, is does it last longer? This is what we don't know. So there are studies that do show that the Pressfit or cementless total knees have a higher revision rate. And there are also other studies that show that there's no difference. We hope that these newer generations of Pressfit total knees last longer than cemented knees, which means that at 20 years, we would have a greater than a 90% success rate. But we do not know because they have not been around for 20 years. Some of the downsides of the Pressfit total knees are it needs to ingrow, and the bone needs to ingrow into the implant. And if that does not happen or does not occur, it leads to what we call loosening or aseptic loosening. I mean, it's not infected, but it didn't ingrow. And this can happen both on the shin bone part and the thigh bone part, or both. And the problem is that a lot of patients after total knee replacement have pain. So when we're looking at an x-ray, if there's not gross motion and a huge kind of hole or defect, it's hard to be sure that there was an ingrowth. Sometimes we do a test called a bone scan, but bone scans can be active for up to 2 years after a normal surgery. So nobody wants to hear you need to wait 2 years before we kind of figure this out. And if it does not ingrow, now you need another operation. So here becomes the big dilemma. If we're putting Pressfit total knees in typically younger patients, and we want them to hopefully have longer longevity. The problem is if you're a younger patient, the thing that we want to avoid is a revision because we know revisions have worse outcomes. And if you have a Pressfit knee and it doesn't biologically ingrow, then there's a need for a second surgery, and the outcome of that second surgery is not as good. And this is where there's things that we can do to optimize. So obviously, things that your surgeon should be talking to you about are if you're a smoker or use nicotine products, you need to stop because that can affect bone healing, both in fractures, fusions, and bone ingrowth. So you want to make sure that you stop that. The other thing is bone quality. So if someone's older and has osteoporosis, that bone quality is not as good or as dense, and there might be some concern as to whether or not the implants and the bone will adhere to one another. The other concern is that when we're putting in these implants, we're hitting them with a hammer, or what we call a mallet, and there can be a fracture. When we put cement in, we're kind of hitting it, but very gently. We can almost push it in with our hands. But when you're hitting these Pressfit implants, you're hitting them with a little bit of force, and that can lead to a fracture during your knee replacement. So that can be a concern. And the other important thing is, again, you want a good surgeon because you have to do a good job. If you don't balance the knee well, or your bone cuts are not accurate, there is a greater chance of the implant not bonding to the bone because there's going to be toggling and it's going to inhibit the bone growing. Now, if your cut's a little off and you put cement, the cement kind of fills in that space. It kind of fills in like grout. But if the knee is not balanced well, and as you go from side to side or bending to straightening, the implant, specifically the shin bone part, is toggling. It doesn't allow the bone to grow into the back of that surface. So the best decision for you is always going to be an informed decision between you and your surgeon. In my opinion, when patients are older and have osteoporotic bone, the best option for them is a cemented total knee. So we're putting this in with cement, polymethyl methacrylate. In many younger individuals, if they don't have risk factors like smoking and things like that, Pressfit implants are a very good option. The thing I always tell young surgeons, though, too, is that, especially if you're doing this in a surgery center, you should have backup. So if you go in with the idea to press fit the total knee, and for some reason that the bone cuts are off, or there's some issue with the bone, that it's kind of more porous than you would expect based on x-ray or based on someone's age, that you have the option of then transitioning or converting to a cemented total knee before the end of that surgery. And the big question that I can't answer for you today is it better? So at 20 years, when we have data, we will be able to answer that question as to whether or not cementless total knees are better. Right now, early results do look promising, so it is a very good and reasonable option for you to discuss with your surgeon, and then they will tell you whether or not they feel that it is the best option surgically for you. So I hope this answers some of the questions, kind of covered a little bit of the differences between the two. If you have other questions, please leave them in the comments below. And until next time, I'm Adam Rosen. Thanks for watching and stay safe.